Ndio naanza intro.
Yeah. You guys, I'm ready for you.
Thank you.
A very good afternoon. Welcome to our today's news desk at 1 p.m. with me, Maryann Gatu.
And me, Joseph Kamau. On to our first news. Learners in junior secondary schools around the country failed to kick off for the second time as JSS teachers stage a countrywide protest to demand for employment on permanent and pensionable terms. Now, the protest comes as the Employment and Labor Relations Court gave orders for the teachers to return to class until a case filed by the Forum for Good Governance and Human Rights challenging the validity of the teachers' demand is heard and determined.
Hatutarudi madarasani, tuko hapa, tutakuja hapa kila siku maandamano, na hiki chumba kubwa tutakiweka kama chumba cha walimu kwa lugha ya Kimombo, staff room.
The Moguls have decided to take it upon themselves to abandon their places of work until we are given our permanent and pensionable letters.
We must be compensated, we must be confirmed today, tomorrow, and then to come.
I'm not going back to school any day. Not today, not tomorrow, not any other day. Comrades power!
Hawa ni walimu ambao tayari wamehitimu, wamefuzu, wamepewa mpaka TSC number, wamepewa license ya kuhudumu, na kwa hivyo hatuoni vile ambavyo wanaweza kuajiriwa.
We have been there teaching, getting a peanut of 17,000, something that can never get our needs.
And now, as schools across the country reopen for second term, President William Ruto has inaugurated the Nana School Primary in Ngando, Dagoretti South on Monday, May 13th. The President presided over the opening of schools accompanied by Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja, among other officials. The President further committed to constructing more classrooms in the school to enhance learning and boost performance.
Leo tumefika hapa kufungua madarasa 22 ya kwanza. Watoto wetu kama 1,300 wataanza kusoma hapa shuleni.
Shule hii vile umeiona Mheshimiwa Rais, we purpose for it to be a center of excellence. We would want it to make it an entire complex that shall have a primary school, an ECD, a JSS, and then finally, we shall have the Lenana School, the national school.
Old Boys Association will be able to do whatever the national government and the county government is not able to do, so that we can also participate in building our alma mater. And I'm very happy today that we have a brand new primary school.
Now, on news about business, the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry has earmarked 1.1 billion shillings for the first phase of the county aggregation industrial parks and Skypes under the initiative. Each county will receive 62.5 million shillings to bolster economic growth. CS Rebecca Miano says that the investment is expected to raise the contribution to GDP by manufacturing from 7% to 15% by 2027 and 20% by 2030. Implementation is currently underway in 17 out of the 47 counties countrywide.
The spirit and letter of KIPES is tattooed in Vision 2030, whose intent seeks to transform Kenya into an industrialized middle-income economy, offering a better quality of life to all her citizens. The vision envisages a Kenya that can produce manufactured goods for consumption in Eastern and Central Africa, besides making inroads to the global market. As a matter of fact, The manufacturing sector plays a key role in economic development and employment creation, besides reducing poverty.
And now the verdict of the 11 members selected committee that investigated Cabinet Secretary Mithuka Linturi alleged involvement in the fake fertilizer scandal that divided Parliament was a complete contrast to a united House, which saw both the ruling Kenya Kwanza members of Parliament team up with opposition legislatures to register an overwhelming 149 votes against 36, paving way for the selected committee to investigate the embezzlement. Cabinet Secretary.
Kenyans must know that the 6 members of the Kenya Kwanza MPs in the team and their surrogate in Jubilee all voted to save the minister. It is only the 4 from Azimio who stood with Kenyan farmers. And so the farmers of Kenya must know who between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio are truly their friends.
I know there are those who have expressed their minority opinion. Honorable Speaker, I had a brief look at that report, and it is all based again on emotions and what they want to say are perceptions. Honorable Speaker, the drafters of our constitution, including the Honorable Tiende Amolo who drafted this constitution, should have then considered putting either under our values the question of perception.
If we continue like this, then in the national holidays, when people are given honors, Mr. Speaker, we should not corruption as one of the honors that is awarded, Mr. Speaker. Corruption should now become a badge of honor in this country, Mr. Speaker. How can this House preside over a committee report that has turned the wheel of 49 members upside down, Mr. Speaker? And they know very well the mood of the House was that they want the minister impeached. Now, it is now the responsibility of the appointing authority to sack that minister as early as this afternoon, Mr. Speaker.
I have seen lawyers saying that members of Parliament, if the 11, somebody tweeted that the 11 members times 5 million shillings is the basis on which this motion will be decided, Honorable Speaker. And it's a very senior counsel in this country, Honorable Speaker. It is shameful and unfortunate, Honorable Speaker,
that if you look at those 7 members who have rejected this report, even on the floor of the House, about 5 or 6 of them made their contribution and they supported Linturi on the floor of the House. So Kimani Ichung'wah, while constituting this committee, clearly wanted Linturi to be let off the hook, as he told us when he was contributing to this motion. He failed to convince his members. He failed to whip his members on the floor of the House. He decided to use the select committee to sanitize Linturi.
I feel completely disappointed with the National Assembly of Kenya. I feel very exhausted, not because I wanted the result to be on the other way, but I thought we should have considered the many farmers that actually brought even the samples fertilizer into the parliamentary buildings, the county hall building when they were asked to.
And now we're going to take a short break. We'll be back with more news updates.
Welcome back. This is Younib, ever the best. Now, long-distance truckers have threatened to shut down and stage regional protest against the deaths of truck drivers in South Sudan. Under the direction of their national chairman, Roman Wachera, the truck drivers assert that 4 Kenyans have died in the last 4 months, the most recent of which was last week, when a driver was shot dead in South Sudan. Now, the drivers also claim that over 80 truck drivers are being detained illegally, some for up to 8 years. They now want the East Africa community to step in, citing their letter to the East African Assembly regarding the issue was ignored.
Hivi tulivyo ni kwamba tuligharamia gharama zote hizo za huko Southern Sudan, dola 300 ambazo tulilipa, na tukakodisha gari kutoka Southern Sudan kutoka Mombasa mpaka Nairobi, ambapo tulikuwa tunachukua huo mwili ambao ulibebwa na hiyo trailer.
Kwanza mabosi hawazingatii hili jambo. Bosi kazi yake ni kuweka pesa mfukoni, na akisikia ni sababu ni kazi ambayo inamlipa yeye mzuri na insurance yake inaweza compensate, yeye moja kwa moja anatuma gari kule.
Kwa hivyo sisi tunataka tuwahakikishie kwa muda wa hizi siku 7, ikiwa hatua haitachukuliwa na zile familia ambazo zimewapoteza watu wao hawatalipwa, basi itakuwa sisi hatuna maana ya kwenda Sudani, kwa sababu itakuwaje mtu amke apige mwenzake risasi tu kama ndege hivi na mambo yaishe hivi, na huku tunasema tuko na East African Community.
And now Jumia has picked its 5th chief executive officer in under 6 years. The firm announced the appointment of Vinod Goel as regional CEO, East African. Vinod will manage both Kenya and Uganda as the direct CEO. Market observers say it will be important for the e-commerce company to stabilize its operation in the country by embracing innovation and prevent the frequency leadership changes.
I'm absolutely ready for the challenge. I think my challenge is again driven by giving the value proposal to the customers. This is what drives me. I'm really ready for it. I think we have made a huge progress on all aspects on bringing the right assortment, right products, every kind of quality of the product, from medium to highest to the most premium to the most price sensitive.
I mean, 5 is one too many. One change, 2 changes makes sense. But when now you have 5, it speaks more to the company, the shareholders, the governance than it does to the market.
I think on the one side, I'm quite proud that we are here for 12 years. And, we have pioneered the B2C e-commerce, right? On the other hand side, I still feel that we are just scratching the surface. We are very small. I think we are standing at around 4-5% of the whole retail market.
Now, the National Land Commission has approved the land request by the county government of Homa Bay for the construction of the county's headquarters. The county government has leased the 5-acre piece of land to the County Pension Fund Group for the project through the tenant purchase scheme that allows flexible and long-term financial support. Speaking when receiving the consent certificate, Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga lauded the move, saying the headquarters will enhance productivity and service delivery to the people of Homa Bay.
The consent was in line with the constitutional mandate of the National Land Commission to manage public land on behalf of national and county governments.
We do a sold investment, and in return, we will then have a relationship with the county in which we dispose back the developed headquarters, in this case, back to the county on an arrangement we call rent to own.
It could be health facilities, it could be any investment that the county has prioritized. So we hope that we can clear with this and move on to other projects, including oil palm farming, that we plan.
Now we have come to the end of our news at 1 p.m. here at Younib TV. My name is Joseph Kamau, and remember to spread love wherever you go. Let anyone who comes in and out of your life move a happy person.
Thank you for tuning in. This is the news desk at 1 p.m. and I am Maryann Gatu.